Welcome to the latest dope episode of the HipPodHedz podcast. A podcast where no sage and no vac discuss their favorite hip-hop moments. Pull up a chair, grab a beverage, fill up your cup and get comfortable. This is part 2 of episode 44.
I'm Hayes, host creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcast. And this, I love what Known Sage does. Y'all make sure y'all go and check out his hip hop podcast as well, which is HipPodHedz. You guys make sure you guys check him out on that. But
right. It all just feeds together for me when I'm thinking about these things. I also wanted to let y'all know I got my cousin Q. He just stopped in. He drops in from time to time on a couple episodes, and I think he knows the brand.
Yeah, my boy. What's good, Pierre? Yeah.
What it is and what it isn't.
I told him you were going to be on the show, and I just wanted him to drop by to say hi and chop
man
for a little bit.
Had to slide on y'all one time real quick. I kept on getting some random fans who kept on begging me, am I going to be on tonight? So I had to give the people what they wanted.
Put on another basketball head on the pod. The conversation is just definitely going to be about basketball now.
I know. I got a diverse portfolio, sir. I'm a well-balanced meal over here. But I guess, sorry for everyone for coming on so late. But, I guess if I had to contribute to the point of, basketball being a selfish sport, there's an element of one-on-one game. And there's, kind of like me against the world type of thing. Like, to your point that you were saying, when you possess the basketball, the game's really in your hands at that time. And just like with any sport, there's a transitions of hands. But, kind of look at so many iconic players that are significant. I think it was an interview I saw on IG with Wilt Chamberlain. They were like, do you feel like you should be considered the best? Or and he was just like, no, I think it was Kareem. And he was like, no, I don't think I should be considered the best. I think I was the best at the time about how I impacted the game versus someone like Michael. The era that he was in, he impacted the game differently. And then, of course, you could always say, our ball players are more skillful now versus back then it was more physical. But I just think when you do have certain players, the one thing he emphasized in that statement was, Michael, he willfully won the game. So, I think that's why that definition probably gets, some of that criticism and maybe, a selfish game because, everybody wants to be like Mike and take the last winning shot and, it dies on me or, LeBron always will look for an out they'll come throw through 3 guys on me, but I'll pass it looking for the open man. But I think just certain people, only second coming we ever saw of Jordan was Kobe. He was the closest thing to it. So, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on that.
I agree with you. I thought you were coming back about Brown making that pass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's scared? Do you think he's scared of the moment sometimes? Because with Mike, if Mike got fouled going to the basket, or Kobe got fouled, they're knocking down 2 free throws, right? Well, with Bron, that's a chance he's gonna miss one of those free throws. We tested this theory a couple times watching him. I would say with Mike and Kobe are more devastating in the half court because they will themselves to win the game. Bron's looking for you to take that shot and for him to decide made the right basketball decision.
Yeah, I think. I think. Who was it? Who's the brother who does Last Take? What's the name of that brother? I forgot his name. But he was saying how LeBron is revered, but Jordan was feared. To emphasize your point, LeBron, I think he is I'm a beast. I'll shove it down your throat as long as I'm up by 20. But like Michael said, a sign of a good man is a man who could talk shit when it's 0-0. So to me, it's just one of those things. Michael's it's all good. I'm still talking about shit if I win and lose this shit. But at the end of the day, who's going to the finals? Or at the end of the day, where I'm going to be at game 60 when we come into the last 15 games of the season, knocking on playoffs doors. I just think that LeBron does not have the killer instinct, plain and simple. He is not a killer. He's a contributor. But I mean, if you let him, but he is like a runaway freight train. You let him get the lead on you, he's going to keep going, keep stacking bodies. But it's just like he doesn't have that killer instinct like the Mamba or MJ. Like he ain't got that in him. He ain't built that way.
He ain't got the footwork. I mean, he goes right every time. When he goes left, 60% of the time he's missing that pull up. With that guy, he's so strong. I think he's stronger than both of them personally. But I mean, pound for pound, yeah. I mean, you're talking like this is like, man, like you're talking Mayweather boxing basketball skills, or even Pacquiao skills, versus somebody who's just all around bruiser at this point. I mean, with Brian, if you can make him go back left, you got a chance of stopping him. If he gets that right hand and that power dribble in the lane, that crab dribble he does where he gathers the ball, you ain't stopping that unless you knock him down at this point. And these guys today ain't built that way. If that's the 90s basketball and that's Charles Oakley down there, or Patrick Ewing, or Mark Eaton, or one of those monsters down there, one of those kaiju down there, he ain't getting no layup. I mean, Karl Malone's opening up LeBron's head 4 out of every 5 times. He did it to Isaiah. You think he wouldn't open up LeBron's forehead? I mean, it's one of those things where, it's a different game. And plus, you can hand check back then. You can't even put a hand on him to stop him. If you can hand check him, at least you can balance the force a little bit and try to push him out. Today's game, Pierre, you could average 40 playing the league today if you know how to just draw contact. It's nuts, man. Because, I teach these kids today, you know what? If they touch you, throw it at the rim. 2 free throws. And people are like, what happened there? He had his hand on him. And, and they starting to call like youth sports the same way they call the NBA now. If you notice, these kids are shooting more free throws because they're learning and watching basketball, and the referees are adjusting to the contact situation. They don't believe in contact anymore. Like those things to tell you,
bro. Because my nephew is owed some fouls at the line, then. Because goddamn.
It depends. It depends on how you're selling it right now. Like those things how physical we were so physically nasty to each other sometimes, playing 1-on-1 or playing full court. It'd almost be fights in the gym. Today it's not like that. Like the NBA has changed the physicality of the sport. There are guys I know. I'd like, go ahead and take that charge. I'm going through your chest.
Man, man. I remember my coach kept me from transferring schools because I took charge. He's like, your ass ain't going nowhere. It's like, but this is one of those things. I mean, like, I think the NFL was a good time marker of the predecessors to that. I mean, it's all about the oohs and ahs and catches and putting points on the board and, victory, laps and performances and dances after the touchdown. Now, it's like it has to turn to an entertainment part.
Celebrations.
So it's like I gotta let that 0 step happen, and the pack your bag steps happen, the TSA pre-check step. Oh yeah, we're gonna hold the gate for you 2 more steps, and then you can take your 2 steps and dunk the ball. So I mean, like, we gotta allow these guys to put on the show like it's Harlem Globetrotters now, because people come to pay to see Marcus Aurelius and the Gladiators. I want to be entertained. So
did the lack of hand checking, the Euro steps, and the closer 3-point line, is that essentially what killed the game? I mean, amongst other things.
No, just the masses killed the game, bro. It's not even about winning and losing no more. It's about entertainment, It's like
and then see some tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I prefer to watch college games. I don't watch them as much, but they're passionate because it's like, hey, I may not even get to the pros. Like, I got to leave it all out here because after high school, this is it, So a lot of those guys don't even go pro. So
you can make more money sitting in college now than going to the NBA.
Because that's the dividing line now. Yeah, because they can make money now.
I saw a guy with TV that he had been there 6 years in college. He had been playing for 6 years because COVID gave everybody got extra time when COVID started, so they just transfer portal everywhere. If you had that when we were in college, Jesus Christ, you ever paying nail deals like that? There'd be some people in college 8 to 10 years. They'll find a way to keep eligibility.
Amen. Howard the almighty dollar.
So speaking of the cash cow of music and basketball, like, is it an unfair comparison to say, like, back in the day, you would go to a record label and hope they would groom you into an artist, and you'd be their showcase artist for label. But now it's like, is the independent route the version of college basketball, like y'all are saying? Like, you could just make your money even before you get to the NBA if you're recognizable enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause think,
All right.
cause think about this. You ever, yeah, you guys ever remember Coach tell you you only got so many jumps fighting, you only got so many cuts in your body before your body stops working? So most of these kids aspire in college. So what happens a lot of times, if you put 4 years into college, by the time you get to the NBA, you only got about 6 to 8 good years of athletic ability, unless you got that LeBron package that comes in the mail. You ain't gonna make it. You're not gonna make it 12 to 14 years playing basketball at that high level. I do think that sports science is better now for some of these guys. Like him playing 21 years. How the hell is that possible? I salute him for that. I salute him for playing 21 years. I can't imagine playing 15 years at that level. I would already do 10 and retire. I could go at least. I'd be like Derrick Rose. I want to go to PJ's graduation. I want to walk into the graduation. If you put 21 on his body, I'm afraid, man. I was reading an article the other day that big people don't live that long. I'm kind of scared for bro. Such a way, Will Chamberlain, what is he, 50 something? He passed away. I mean, the taller they are, the most likely they're going to pass quicker than normal size, like regular size human beings on this planet. So, I honestly, I think the independent route with basketball is probably the best route to go now. To be honest with you, if you love the game, it'll come to you now. It's not like it used to be back in the day where I got to make it to the NBA. It's not even about that anymore. It's about taking care of your family, making your money, and just being revered in your neighborhoods, your blocks, and being a social media killer at this point. You can not make it to the NBA and be like Julian Newman. That dude that him and his sister, they made that video series, and everybody knows who Julian Newman is. He didn't make it to the NBA. And they're pretty well off at this point. Or you could be like the Baller Brothers. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. In that situation.
Yeah,
I feel for Zoe, but the Melo's a beast. Why you want to go there? Oh man, rest in peace to his career. Man, he was doing great things, man. Oh man, I miss Zoe. He coming back.
I mean, I think also too, like, to some of the stuff we're staying over, it's like you said about record labels. Like, yeah, I needed an agent, I needed a management team, I needed this whole big entourage just to even have a conversation. But now you just got this one screen and 5 cameras on, 1 on the front and 3 on the back, or 5 on the back. And that's your whole management team. That's your spokesperson. Like, I think 21 Savage just having a conversation at the barbershop. He was like, y'all had to go and make CDs and go into, studio time and all that stuff. He was like, all I had to do was a password and a username, and I put my stuff on SoundCloud, and that's it. And I took off. It's the same thing with these athletes now. They're taking off because they become their own brand. They're being their own hype agent. They're getting their own deals. They don't need all these other people the traditional way. It's just, I hate it so much because I remember our cousin Mark had this conversation with me during the conversation. He was like, hey, cuz, they ain't doing it like that no more. And I was like, I really hate it because it's like the nostalgia of like the ways you kind of go up through the ranks, or you try to achieve things in life. It's just, there's faster and quicker ways of doing it now. It's like you don't have to do so much legwork. It's just be a text message now.
Also, the power of the internet. Like, people get discovered way easier nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Could be one viral post, and now this person is getting offered deals, or so.
Hey, to piggyback off of that, Marlo, so you brought up celebrations earlier, and Q, we were basically talking about like hot takes on celebrations, like during basketball. And the other thing I wanted to bring up that I didn't get to mention was like the taunts that went on between Caitlin and Reese during the final last year. Like, I didn't even watch that game, but just the image of that celebration / taunt, kind of like, you know, like it's kind of crazy. It's like I don't know how I feel about it. Like, yeah, it got my attention. Yeah, it was because of the internet, but like, is it good for the game? I mean, I guess Caitlin's getting the bag. I would imagine Reese is getting the bag at one point, or maybe it. I know she was on break for a bit, but
She don't break. She don't break.
right.
'Cause
But it's just trippy because it's like
I feel like though
some sort of ways about it.
that those taunts and celebrations, that was like a passionate game because it was big. It was a big game, you know. So these other celebrations, like they're just doing it to showboat. They were competing with each other and making plays in a big game. So yeah, that emotion is going to come out. But now,
Hell yeah, sure you wanted to smoke in that game, man. You ain't gonna be talking crazy all season. Don't think when it's showtime.
like they other kids nowadays, they shoot a three in the first quarter and do all this. Like, come on, man. Like, just get back and play defense like you done it before.
The toxic baller in me loves it though.
But also
Like-
the toxic baller in you is like, you know, you're forced to take a stance on the P. Will thing, right? It's like if he makes emotions, you love or hate him, or if he doesn't make emotions, you love or hate him. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're almost forced to make some sort of reaction out there, regardless if it's a big game or not, like Marlo said.
Mm-hmm.
But Kid, you bring up an interesting point about the toxic basketball love. I mean, it's real, man. It's like we're the same people that, you know, we cheer for the Lakers to lose, but we like to watch them play. It's so crazy when you think about it. There are people that literally watch Laker games to see them lose. And so,
Yeah.
and, you know, and then there's people that, you know, watch Bulls games hoping that Zach get traded to the Lakers every night. So it's insane. Like, you know, the condition, the mental condition of basketball right now. I mean, it's like, you know, this year, like the whole in-season tournament thing. Let's talk about that BS for a minute. That's like an AAU weekend tournament win, right? So people are fighting right now on the internet about it's a real ring. And I'm like, it's about as real as the bubble tournament. It's about as real as the bubble tournament. We had this fight, and people get mad and go like, they had to be away from their family for weeks and play at Disney World. Whatever. If you send me to Disney World for 2 weeks, I ain't thinking about family. I'm going to Chef Mickey every day for dinner. I'm hanging out at Epcot, and then I might go hoop. There's no drama there. So they were like, well, they had to be away from their family, and they could have died from COVID. No NBA player died from COVID, right? Not one player, not one coach died from COVID, not that I'm aware of. So, you know, the whole isolation thing, and that was the hardest tournament ever. Stop it. Stop it right now. You know, you got to go through 82 games. You got to walk through the 82 game fire. Come talk to me. When he wins 82 games, when he wins 82 games and he shows up for at least 70 of the 82, and Mike played every night, Kobe played every night unless his Achilles was missing or something. You know, it's crazy, man, to think about people talking about this is the fifth ring right now. My 11-year-old's arguing with me, he's the GOAT daddy. I'm like, you know what? I would take his jersey and throw it out your room. Seriously.
Hey,
It's like, I know that's
let me
wrong
know
to
when you do
11-year-old.
that because I want to hold the camera so he remembers this.
Oh yeah, I mean the kids are funny. As you probably already know, Marlo, the kids are funny today. They call him the GOAT, and they revere him. They call him king, and I'm like, I can't do it, man. You know, it's like the rule is if you're over 40, you got a LeBron James jersey, you can't listen to the podcast. I'll find you another pod, man. But you know, you can't have that man's jersey on and call him king, and then come to my house or something like that. We can't do that. MJ is awesome, but you know what? We ain't never called that man king. We ain't never said, you know, we his body of work speaks for itself. We ain't got to argue with no other man about what MJ did. We ain't argue about it. With the LBJQT QT community, we call them, that's a whole different community. You know, those people,
I never heard that.
yeah, LBJQT,
The alphabet people.
man, the alphabet people, man. It's a whole community of them. I got 40-year-olds that call me every morning. He won last night. Who? You know, other people played last night, right? They were like, he won. I'm like, okay, he's got 40,000. He said he's not a scorer, but he got 40,000 points. I'm like, stop it, man. Everything he does is intentional, if you ever noticed. Yeah, he got 40,000 points. I salute him for it. That means he played 20 some years. Give him his flowers. But, you know, if you four out
does
of...
fan base have a name? Like, they got the Bayhive with the Braun Hive?
I just told you, yeah, we
Nah.
call it LBJQP.
Lord, goddamn.
I probably got to watch that alphabet.
But I mean, at the same time, I think it's just like, well, I do look at LeBron. It's like I just see performance. Like I respect the performance in a sense of like athletic gift and ability, but it's just like it's just something about willpower and mental toughness. Like he has like stamina. He doesn't have like willpower, in my opinion. Like Kobe willpower, Michael willpower. Some of these greats, even greats before Michael and Kobe, willpower. Like that generation was just like how they call, like, I think, what was it, like before the boomers, it was the greatest generation. You know what I'm saying? Like those type of people who foster in that American dream and ideal identity. And it's kind of like some moguls I listen to now. They talk about we don't have like really good heroes to a degree. Because like I think these kids cling on to like a LeBron as a hero to a degree. But it's like sometimes heroes are fucking douchebags. You know, like fucking Batman ain't just like solving crimes. He was cracking skulls in these comic books and busting gats. Like low key, like he had a dark side to him. Like DC, go dark. Y'all know how dark y'all can go. Just go dark. But you just want to do the kid route and put on the glove mitts, you know. But it's like I just think that everybody's just wants to get after the bag and they just want to glitch and damage. Like, oh, we're making money together, dog. It's all good. It's like, no, I genuinely want to hate you every time I step on this court. And I want you to feel that until the next time I see you again. And then we can laugh when we're in retirement and talk about we were chirping, dog. You know, but it's like everybody's being buddy. It's all like rubbing shoulders and kissing babies with each other. Like, hey, just don't fuck me up too bad when I take this layup. Because, you know, we got to play in the Team USA in a couple of months or next year, or, you know, we got to make it hot for them in the playoffs and go to Game 5. Like, you know, like, I don't know. I just think it's one of those things where it's all about the showboat now and the skills, but it's not about like the glory days, like how we're romanticizing. It doesn't hit the same.
Well, blame it on AAU. Think about it. They all play together. Think about Draymond and LeBron. That relationship. Now think about that relationship. You ever have somebody dominate somebody and they still friends after that? You know, I understand friendship.
Hell no. Use the word dominate.
Ain't that weird? You know, you think about it like, yeah, you know what, that man beat me all the time. But you know who I've been loving lately? Listen to it, Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague got the best NBA stories. He got this one story about, I'll recap on this one, No Sage. So Jeff Teague was playing against LeBron when he was in Atlanta. LeBron drove by him to the basket. Jeff Teague said, that bitch drove by me and I knocked him out of bounds. And so everybody on the podcast started laughing. They're like, who you talking about? LeBron. I knocked him out of bounds. So Jeff Teague tells these hilarious stories about men don't like each other. And Jeff Teague got like that, he got that Southside Indiana person. He from Indianapolis. He's Southside Indianapolis. So they got this whole demeanor like F him. So, you know, Teague tried to take him out. And he said LeBron flopped out of bounds and fell out of bounds and screamed or something. And he said, I did that on purpose. We were like, damn. So, you know, it's funny today, but when it happened, he said people threatened to kill him. They were sending him death threats on social media. If he had got hurt, we killing you. So, but, you know, that's that. His beehive is strong. You know, you think about it, it's very strong. You know, you got, you know, Draymond is part of that beehive. There's other NBA players that love him. You know, it's a love affair. You know, ain't no player ever vouched for Mike like that. Real talk. Mike ain't invited him to his wedding. Mike was out to kill you. Today they laugh about it, but he was kicking. He broke up families. He got people divorced. Mike fucked lives up. You gotta think about it. There's grown men out there today that ain't been a man in their house since Mike stumped them. It's real shit, and they're wearing the shoes. You know, think of it. He whooped their ass, and they all wear shoes now. It's crazy. Every podcast, every TV show, they wear Jordans.
I ain't gonna cap though. My shoes ain't comfortable, but LeBron's are. I ain't gonna cap though.
Oh, they're comfortable as hell, but they also they're consolation. That's consolation fit though. So, hey, Q. You know why they comfortable? Because you got to be comfortable when you go 4-6 in the finals. They got to be comfortable.
You're right. You're right, though. You're right.
I got a pair. I got a couple pairs of them. I bet they're awesome hoop head. But I can't wear them in front of my kid. I can't get a satisfaction of wearing them shoes. Daddy wearing LeBrons today. Shut up. These are Kobe's.
Petty gang.
So to go on another random hip hop tangent. You invoked Batman, right? And I can't help but think about Batman and Robin, and arguably the duos in hip hop that are uncountable. You know what I'm saying? Like Tribe and Mos Def and Kweli, and the list goes on. So like with basketball, right? Like obviously you got Mike and Pippen, Kobe, Shaq, but Bron, it was never a duo, right? It was basically a trio.
I guess. I don't know about that, bro. Like, you forgot about Miami years, I guess. Like, that was Lob City before Lob City, goddammit. Like the Flash and LeBron. Come on now.
That's scary.
Yeah, like that was like a hyped up, like on steroids, like Karl Malone and Steve Stockton, yo. Like that's how I looked at that shit. Like
Boston broke him. That's what that was. Paul Pierce, KG, they broke Bron. When they broke Bron, it's
I
like
loved every moment of it too.
You know what that was like? That was like when Batman got his back broke by Bane. That's what that was like, pretty much.
For real, low key.
they gave him the Bane treatment. They broke Bron's back, and then he ran down to Miami and got superpowers again. And you got, I guess Alfred would be Pat Riley, and Pat Riley basically orchestrated this whole thing. They've been able to hit the salary cap to get those guys on the floor together. That's never been done in history. Get three guys making $30 million each, almost at the same time on the same floor. Everybody does it now.
Then those sons of
Ray Allen. Oh yeah, then they got Ray. Ray won that other championship by his. If Ray got the jump shot, he ain't got 4.
Mm-hmm.
You take Disney at 2.
Yep.
He got an asterisk on one of those, man. I'm just be real talk. There's an asterisk on that the Disney bubble ship. That's an asterisk. The AAU tournament. I don't know what that was. He said he's the first ever to win the in-season tournament. I was reading that on the YouTube, and I was like, stop it. We can suit up and get that tournament, guys. We can win that in-season tournament and never play again. That's what I would do. But he might repeat on that next year.
When Bron played for the Heat, though, it was never like a duo in the conversation. It was a trio, right? It was a trio. And Bosh.
Yeah. But you gotta really. You could say that it's a trio, but you gotta really look at context clues. Like, how much was Bosh really embedded with every transition? You got D Wade inbounding the ball and throwing a football pass down to Bron to the other end and laying it up. Like, or moments like that, they're give and go. And like Bosh wasn't embedded; he was definitely a key component. But those two, when they connect, it was very powerful and magical, in my opinion. Bosh was in there amongst them, but even when he got forced into retirement because of his illness, it was that situation went on for another year, I think. So you could kind of, I guess if you're always looking for like you said, the Scottie Pippen Michael combination, or Shaq and Kobe, I kind of get it, but I think it's just an honorable mention more so than like a define like 1 and 2, because it's like Wade was a big part of that mastermind of like, yo, come fuck with your boy and play over here, dog. Like, stop playing. Like nobody coming to Cleveland, like Joe King said, like, stop playing.
And to add to the conversation too, right? So like, according to this one article I'm looking at, the Sportster.com, right? They were ranking the best trios, and they rated 4th for Bron, Wade, and Bosh, right? But where I'm going with this conversation is that like, you were talking about willing your team into the championship, and I feel like if you're a duo, maybe you have more power in willing the whole franchise. But if you're more operating like a trio, maybe not, as far as the dynasty going long. But I digress. The number 1, according to this article, was Marlowe's team. When he said he respected team ball in the NBA, Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili, they ranked them as the top 3 trio. I just think it's kind of fascinating because, like, team ball doesn't always exist.
Nice.
It's,
I mean, they've done the most
just,
as a three. They stayed together and built something, and that's why they're known for it, for sure.
And they
Every
play
other
all, they play all fucking 72 games, 75 games. They don't. They're a 500 team at game one. Goddamn it, like they just don't. Pop wasn't playing. Like I'll co-sign anything Marlo said that I wasn't here for, but like I do feel like, yeah, definitely when you look at that, that was just pure efficiency from start to beginning. I mean, from start to finish, no matter how their season went, and then you always knew that you had to watch out for them when you got deep in the season. So I mean, San Antonio was never no one to be slept on with those three on the court. Like that was like college ball at its finest, but it grew organically, like something like Golden State almost. Like those guys weren't top ranked like that for many years. And then when they got the playoffs, like you knew what it was and what it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And they all had all the right pieces. They were like a reincarnation of the Bulls, in my opinion, in some ways. It's like, what was it? Like Robert Horry was there for a hot minute. And then he was like kind of like their coach. You know what I'm saying? Like that man got so many goddamn rings just guilty by association. So just like, you pick up the right pieces here and there along the way, you got a nasty ass squad for a minute. Shit, we got the white mamba out of that whole situation. I mean,
well, think about it. David Robinson set the foundation for Tim. So they passed that torch down there in San Antonio straight to Tim and Ginobili and Parker and everybody, and they just kept rolling. Now you see Wemby down there, right? Give them next year. They're gonna get another high draft pick. And they're gonna end up. They're gonna put the right parts. The Spurs are have the best farm system in basketball. They identify talent faster than anybody out there. They find killers that nobody ever heard of, and they bring them to a market. Tottenham are awesome at finding players to put on the court. If Primo, if Josh Primo had not got kicked off the Spurs, he'll have been that starting point guard. Mark, I don't know if you know about Primo. Primo was nasty. Yeah. He had some other stuff going on. He was nasty in another way, but
nasty on and off.
His game was nasty.
John Moran before John Moran.
Yeah, he was jobbing out the guns. He was using other guns.
Different tools,
man. If Primo had to stay, Johnson nice. They're gonna probably use him. DeJounte Murray, basically, they bred DeJounte Murray. But he got to the point he wanted to play outside that system, that foundation. So they moved him. They moved him because he wasn't fitting anymore. And Popham are really good at identifying anything they think is a cancer or anybody they don't want in their organization. They get them out quick. They brought DeMar DeRozan down there to train Keldon Johnson. If you think about it, Keldon Johnson plays like DeMar DeRozan, a young DeMar from Toronto. Or young DeMar before he got traded out of Toronto, to be honest with you. So the Spurs got all the parts. Give him a little bit of time. Wemby is generational talent. If you give him 2 years, he's going to own the NBA. That kid is doing stuff right now he shouldn't be doing. It's freakish. You throw a guy a lob, he don't even jump. He catches it and ducks it backwards. It's scary as hell, man. He's blocking shots without jumping right now. So, I mean, Wemby would be the best player in the game. If barring injury, or he don't get the Ralph Sampson broken foot or anything like that. But those guys like Yao Ming didn't have what Wemby has. And somebody said Bo is good as Wemby. Don't do drugs. I mean, Bo's good, but he ain't Wemby good. I saw that kid. That's scary.
They already talking about he has potential foot injuries in the past. So
yeah,
I mean, to your point about what you're saying about big men, like I remember telling my doctor, like, oh, I wish I was a little bit bigger. She was like, no, you don't. Because if you were any bigger than you are at 6'2", and a good solid like 250, depending on where I'm at in life, 250 between 230, she's just like, it's so much strain on the body, the wear and tear, because you're moving so much more everything. So, I mean, his youth is where it's at. I mean, thank God they kind of let people come in younger now because you can see them at their prime. It may be now, maybe not later. But, those knees, and he ain't going 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
12. When we doing 12.
at best. I mean, I think LeBron is just a specimen that we just can't compare because we ain't never seen nothing like that until now. So I mean,
Well, what year is Giannis right now?
Year one. This is year one. He's 20. He's 20 years old. He can't even buy a drink. He's 20 years old. But he's been playing since what do you mean?
What year is Giannis?
Giannis
right now?
10. He came in at 18. He's 28. About 10.
How much long you think he'll play? 15 years? 16 years?
No. This is his prime. So you think like, and he's a guy that he couldn't deal with being a supporting. I don't think he can deal with being somebody's supporting player right now.
I think he can.
So I think,
well, later.
Later, but could he turn into Blake Griffin? I don't know. Blake Griffin humbly took that L and said, "I'm okay with coming off the bench and not playing tonight." Giannis has got too much pride compared to Blake. Blake Griffin's pride, kind of dissipated over time. I don't think it dissipated. I think he accepted who he was. You know what I mean? Giannis is like Superman not having that power. Well, he had to go to therapy because I think that he wouldn't deal well with being told you ain't good enough. Because I love Giannis's attitude. I've been watching that kid since when Derek was torching him. We go to Milwaukee and watch those games. He's come a long way. He put on so much muscle. Giannis is a freaking problem, because they don't build that. That guy's dunking for the three. That guy's dunking one step inside the free throw line, and he's flushing people. I mean, and he's trying to he's going to the basket with bad intentions. LeBron goes to the basket with happy intentions. Giannis is trying to end your life. And you watch this stuff, you be like, okay, I saw Giannis just dunk on that man, and he's got nastiness in him. That's why I always tell kids, like, if you want to be a lover, be LeBron. You want to be a killer, be Giannis. Giannis talks like you ever listen to him talk? He talks like he's watching a Godfather movie. The first time I heard him explain whooping somebody's ass, you can tell he grew up watching certain shows when he's learning English. He sounds like he's watching the Godfather. I was like, what is that accent that he's like, you got to break him. You got to make sure he doesn't score again. And I'm looking like, Giannis, what movies have you been watching? So Giannis learned English watching, like, I swear it was gangster movies and other shit. Listen to Giannis describe basketball. You think about Al Pacino showing up somewhere. I mean, he's got that accent. I mean, Giannis is a murderer, man. He's the closest you get to Kobe in this generation, the great killers. I think outside of him, I like Anthony Edwards, man. Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man is a fucking problem. I'm gonna tell you that right now. He's different, man. He's different. If he was a little bit taller, he's like, him and Donovan Mitchell are about the same. Donovan Mitchell's a little bit smaller. Donovan's like 6'1", 6'2". Anthony Edwards like 6'3", 6'4", but he plays like he's 6'6". He plays like he got wings. And
so what about Pat Bev though? When you're talking like that, what about Pat Bev?
What about Pat Bev? Pat Bev was a killer in high school. Pat Bev was a killer in high school. I love Pat Bev. That's Marshall, man. I love Pat Bev, man. I know people play with Pat. Pat's always been a dog, man. NBA wise, like he said it best. NBA, they don't.
He was just on with Stephen A. and talking about how, like, yeah, man, I'm the best defender in the league because me defending anybody is like Giannis defending them, but I'm at 6'3" or 6'2". That's what he said to Stephen A. recently. I was like, really? That's what they're saying on the stats? That's what ESPN said. Like, Giannis is like number 3 for like top defender. Yeah. I forgot who the other two, but like Pat Bev was up there, like potentially at number 1. I'm like, I don't know. Like,
well, if you think Pat Bev about the fuck you're going to the basket, his defensive awareness goes up. The fact that he's out there, he's one of those cats that if you ain't about to lose some skin or you don't feel like having to fight this guy every day, you might bow down and let him get away with some of that shit. Pat Bev is a monster when it comes defensively because, great defenders, John Stockton was dirty as fuck. I mean, I learned a lot of hand-to-hand combat watching John Stockton videos when he was doing people's hands and fingers. That guy that guy was fucking people up coming off of screens. You know, him and Karl Malone had a secret like language down there. Them fuckers looked at each other like they were lovers, man. They were fucking people up because they didn't even communicate. They didn't talk no shit. They just whooped your ass. Him and Carl, man, that pick and roll, that pick and roll hurt.
So they broke back Mountain before broke back Mountain.
Hey, their chemistry was off the chain, man. Stockton Malone, you'll never see that again. You never see two guys with a pick and roll like that ever in life. You know, you wish Derrick Rose in his prime would have had his own Stockton, or his own Malone, or somebody that was that good, you know, to compliment him. Because he almost single-handedly wrecked the Heat by himself. You know, they got good for Boston. Chicago showed up out of nowhere. As Brian said, he stole his MVP. So the talk in his camp is, you know, Derrick stole LeBron's MVP season. So that year, Brian was 2 and voted. You remember that evil accusation?
Yeah.
D Rose, man, that was a Ferrari.
Yeah,
I've seen it up close. I've seen it up close. I've seen it in gyms. Outside the NBA gym, that's a Ferrari, Marlo. That cat, man, when that cat turned on them jets out there, I saw grown men backpedaling. And I'm like, what the fuck? You really can't guard it because he was strong and fast. You know,
too big, too fast, too strong, too good.
You know, he had like a Michael Jackson demeanor whooping your ass, man. He's like Michael Jackson with a basketball. That's what Derrick Rose was to me during that time period. He's real soft-spoken, Marlo. Hey, how's everybody doing? He's like, what the fuck? Is that what Derrick Rose sound like? You know, first I heard him, he came to one of my, I used to work at this place. He came in the gym to talk. Hi, everybody. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm thinking this killer voice coming. That's a Simeon. You know, this down street from Calumet. You know, off the nine.
You wanted her to be on his Prince shit. I heard Prince was a savage on the court.
Well, you know what? And Morris Day. I heard the time and Prince were basically running you about the fucking gym. You know, you had Shalimar out there playing with the Mickey Shalimar. Gas and mascara were busting people's ass, man. So I mean, you know, it happens, man. Shit, if you live enough and play enough basketball, there's teams out there that was, you know, especially on the north side. Oh my God, it's killers up. The north side is like Jurassic Park. If you go out there and turn the wrong neighborhood and find the real killers over there, you're like, what the guy looks like? Luke Longley. How the fuck is he jumping 40 inches off the ground? You're like, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know how you got this fucking good. But yeah, I would say, you know, get back to the NBA piece. You know, you look at Giannis. Giannis is just different, man. You know, can he play 15 years? Probably not. He'll probably retire and go play with his kids. His kids are what I worry about. His offspring, they're big as fuck already. I saw them on the sideline. I only saw the picture of Marlo with them hanging out. He's got like 5-year-old. I think he may almost be 4'4" or something like that. So
dear God,
his fiance is like 6'2".
Freak.
So the Greek Freak Part 2, I always look at it like this, like, you know, the next generation of basketball players, man, they're gonna be so advanced physically. When PJ Rose comes up and the rest of those guys come through, Jesus Christ.
No.
It's gonna be scary, man. It's gonna be scary times out there because, you know, Bron's kids, they're okay. You know, everybody talks about Bronny. You know, I like Bronny a lot as a person. I like Bronny a lot. You know, I think, and I had a buddy who coached over at Sierra Canyon, and he loves Bronny. He told me he's the most humble kid you're gonna meet. And then somebody made a joke talking about that his dad learned from him. I'm like, stop it, man. Don't do that. But I mean, I think Bryce is gonna be better than Bronny. I think Bryce is the one. I think Bryce got size. Bronny's 6'3". There's a lot of 6'3" guys out there walking around.
So, question for you. I mean, a sidebar question to that. Like, do you feel like LeBron is going to go into broadcasting, or do he going to go dark like MJ did and just kind of like live the mystique lifestyle? I mean, he's pretty vocal as a player, but like, do you see him sitting on ESPN thrones and critiquing games and talking about stuff?
He's too vain to disappear. He ain't going nowhere. He's gonna be with us the rest of our time on this planet. LeBron is gonna be behind the mic or making videos or, giving commentary. He cares about what you think. He's never going away. You know, people like, he retires. I can't wait for him to retire. You don't want that. When he retires, he's gonna be everywhere.
Man, you right. You right. Now you say it like that. You right.
You know, it's like Kobe. Kobe faded away and went into the Mamacita era, I call it. And he went into,
I'm gonna go get me an EGOT. You know, fuck all this shit.
Brian's with us forever. I think basically, his kids, he's gonna be doing kid games, all that shit, man. To be honest with you, Siri, his daughter probably end up playing in WNBA. That's how crazy this the lineage, his lineage is right now is huge. Because I think all them kids, I think Brian, he got bunnies, but he ain't got the size. That's the thing about it. When you're tired and you're 6'3" and you dunking on people, you still 6'3" when you're tired. When you're 6'6" and tired, that's 3 inches you still got. That's 3 inches still advantage over somebody 6'2", 6'3". And if you play the angles right, you can still catch people going to the basket at that size. I think Bryce has got a better NBA body at this point, but he might not be as intelligent yet basketball wise as his brother and his father right now. Bron's intelligence is the scary thing, but he's played more basketball than anybody out there. So that's what makes him super intelligent out there. He's seen every scenario you could throw at him at this point. If you play a lot of basketball, you're going to be smarter than every fucking body out there. If you don't play a lot of basketball, it's hard to do game time situations. He knows what he's not good at. He knows, I don't want to take that last second shot. Let me kick it out. I don't want to take them last second free throws. If I have to take them, I'm going to miss one, and I'm going to try to get a rebound. Dude, I watched him one game. He missed the first free throw. He missed the second on purpose to try to get it back because he knew he had no chance in hell of making that free throw. And so it's crazy. I mean, to beat that guy, you got to outthink him. And not outplay him. He's a Jedi at this point. You have to outthink him. You have to beat him mentally upstairs. I think he's beatable, but Anthony Davis is the X factor out there in LA. I'm not going to say anything about that. I got family members associated and people associated with him, so I'm not going to say any Anthony Davis criticism in this show. I'm going to plead the fifth. Chicago listening right now.
No. Keep that same energy for AD, bro. We need to know that opinion. I know you might have mob ties, but I don't know, man. I'm over him.
Hey fellas, I gotta ride out, man. I'm sorry that I would talk basketball all night long, but
yeah, I see them little eyes getting droopy, getting a little low. Getting tired, big guy. Sun getting low.
Nah, we feel you, man. We feel you, Marlo. Yeah, definitely have to stop by and check you guys out, man. Check out your program and everything, because you always learn from other people and see what you guys are doing over there. Awesome. Yeah, I want that hoodie, man.
Yeah, cool. I'll get your info from Jay, and then we'll work that out. But man, I appreciate y'all. This is my first time on a podcast. It was fun, man. Just chopping it up.
Definitely.
Good times, man. Good times. Q, man, you gotta, we gotta do we do a playoff edition of this podcast and playoff start. We get you back on here, Marlo. We're gonna talk playoff basketball, not bubble ships.
All right, let me go ahead. You're right. Let me go ahead and get this league pass real quick so I can stay up to date. You're right.
Yeah, thanks again, Marlo, for promoting your brand. Thanks for stopping by the show, and then we'll let Novak close us out.
All right, man. I want to thank everybody for stopping by and checking out this special NBA edition or just Chicago basketball edition. We talked all things basketball and some hip hop. We'll tie that in later. But anyway, we had fun, Marlo. Q, thank you guys for stopping by. Definitely go ahead and check us out. Everywhere podcasts are available. And remember, season is 82 games. It ain't 16 in the bubble shut. All right.
This concludes part 2 of episode number 44. Thank you for listening to the HipPodHedz podcast. A podcast where no Sage and no Vac discuss their favorite hip-hop moments. Share, like, subs, comment to the show on YouTube and Spotify. Go out and listen to something dope today.